Yeah, I apologize, y'all. I'm back at the refugee camp. My batteries went dead on me while I was out in the park, but I'm back home now. So I guess I'm going to continue try to do this while I'm in the steam room, because I got the steam room on, the portable steam room that I told y'all about. So I mean, get situated in there so I can continue talking about my spiel, picking up where I left off. Hopefully the batteries don't. If these batteries do die on me, at least they will before or after I finish saying what I need to say. Okay, so just before my camera died, I was basically saying how, this false accuser, and we come to find out, surely enough, especially with, this Karen apocalypse going on. I'm telling you, bro, Karen has always been around. It's just now that she's being exposed, that she's getting caught in the act. And this Karen, ironically enough, was en route to CU Boulder. Now, what makes CU Boulder, at least to me, so distinct and unique from CU Denver? One, that it's in Boulder instead of Denver, because like I told y'all, and it's no cap, take my word for it when I tell you that Denver's a riveting shithole. That's, the only thing that separates a city like Denver from a city like Detroit, a city like Chicago, a city like Memphis, Denver has money. So Denver ain't got no excuse being the kind of shithole city that it is. But again, when you got a bunch of shiftless dregs, it means you can be in places like San Francisco with, skyrocketing cost of living. And you can have, supposedly affluent, cream of the crop only living there. And you'll have people there, people like that, bringing the integrity of the city down. And two, CU Boulder has an array of majors that CU Denver simply doesn't have. It just doesn't offer. So that's why I compared, Boulder and Denver, CU Boulder and Denver, to going for the gold versus going for the silver. Because it would be an honorable thing it would be a nice thing to graduate from CU Denver if that's all I had, because the bronze would be, hell, there's a university, a local university out here called MSU, and with my Tennessee ass, I was up here thinking that, I was like, subconsciously I immediately thought Mississippi State University, but no, MSU out here stands for Metropolitan State University. And, apparently it's got a lot of students. It's got its share of majors and whatnot. But I'm like, no, if I didn't come out here for CU Denver, I damn sure didn't come out here for Metropolitan State University. I'm like, hell no, that's not even an option. For me, worst case scenario would be going to CU Denver. But given that things are lining up, and like I said, I'm looking at the just the option, the viable, realistic option of going to CU Boulder. By all means, that is something I'm going to pursue to the fullest. And as I was making my way back from the park, I got an interesting thought, and that being, there's a debt that I owe. being given the cards that I've been given, there's a debt that I owe that can only be paid by me going to either, a college like CU Denver or a college that's on the same level of, esteem. Because it doesn't look like I'm going to be going to no Ivy League school or nothing like that. I think that's been signed, sealed, and delivered anyway. So it is what it is. Unless I make, exceptional grades during my time at one of these schools that are public but are prestigious nonetheless, and some European university that's pretty much Ivy League sees that and honors that. But there are several, I just came to realize that there are several entities to whom I owe a debt of excellence. I owe, just based off the cards that were given to me. With this newly found, I guess, intellect, because I think I was telling y'all before my video cut off that even though I didn't make the best of grades, I was always intellectually curious, and the fact that the people surrounding me did nothing with that, they didn't cultivate that. It just shows that the only person who's there to cultivate it is me. I'm gonna have to cultivate it. Ain't nobody else gonna do that. Everybody else is just gonna throw me down into the nigger hole and tell me to pick cotton, like they have. You'll never learn your worth being in the kind of environment that I was in. Because these people are here to basically survive and thrive with their own tribe. And seeing you do that, seeing you compete with them, threatens that. So of course they're gonna put you in the kind of fucked up predicaments. And even when you do, move the goalpost, as that's a common saying these days, constantly moving the goalpost, creating all these distractions, all these things to keep you from scoring number one on the things that matter the most. Because I was just thinking back, when it comes to foreign languages, who can do it like I do it when it comes to foreign languages? Because I may not be, even though I'm not fluent in Cambodian and Thai and Swahili, but the fact that I can speak Cambodian, Thai, and Swahili, an array of European languages, Asian languages, and to a more or less extent, even African languages. Who can do it like I do it? Now, there was somebody who could do it like I do it, who surpassed even me when it came to that. Moses McCormick. Oh, but that's right, y'all killed him. Y'all murdered him. You killed the lead Shaolin disciple just off the strength that he was just talented and fluent, way better than I am, and probably ever will be, when it comes to an array of different foreign languages. Just off the strength alone. And that's all he did. He didn't do math. He didn't do science. Not to my knowledge, he didn't. Just off foreign languages. Y'all killed him because of that. But yet, I was competing in something that, as far as I can tell, simply, and based on my personal experiences and how I haven't been able to hit on anything when it comes to foreign languages, simply doesn't matter. It simply doesn't matter. Because I'm not Moses McCormick, by which I can make a living based off of, the kind of clout and, videos that I've made, and even websites that I've made teaching people how to speak Chinese and Malayalam and things of that nature. So for me, it will be STEM majors. And there are several, like I said, there are several entities that I owe, to whom I owe excellence, despite the consequences. I owe the universe, I owe the creator of the universe and the creator of me. I owe myself. I owe it to myself. And I'll give you another entity that I owe, believe it or not. I owe these motherfuckers. I owe all of them motherfuckers, just like that Becky, just like that Karen, accusing me of walking into my high school with a gun. Consequences be damned, right? I'm just doing it to live out the legacy of the Columbine shooters, right? And we just had, mind you now, ironically enough, a shooting that happened in, you guessed it, Boulder. Of this Allahu Akbar ass Syrian dude who just walked into one of these King Supers. They call it, I mean, it's Kroger, but out here they call it King Supers. But it's Kroger, who walked into one of these local Krogers and shot up the place. She accusing me of doing that. And you notice that since the DC snipers, it ain't really just been too many black mass shooters, except the Pookies and Ray Rays within the hood. But it ain't too many brothers just going into a grocery store or a movie theater or a concert in LA and just letting off rounds like that. That ain't really our MO. As much as they'd love for it to be our MO. They'd love for it to be our MO to raid the nation's capital, right? We wasn't up there doing that shit. But that's the narrative, right? It will always be the narrative. So, which goes back to my point. I owe motherfuckers like that Karen and all these other assholes who set me up for failure. I owe them my excellence. I owe them going and shooting for the highest medal that I can, and that being the gold. And for me, the gold is CU Boulder. It's not UCLA or UC Berkeley, because that's a bridge too far. That's a bridge. Even if I did have the aptitude for that, that's a bridge too far. I'm not even gonna waste my time trying to do that. But the fact that I'm in Colorado, and the fact that I'm just about 25 minutes from Boulder, and Boulder was always what I originally wanted to come out here to do in the first place, that's what I'm shooting for. That's my goal. Once I complete my bachelor's and my master's in IT, I'm going back to school. But this time it's going to be for an array of STEM fields outside of IT. So again, we're looking at biochemistry, bioengineering, mechanical engineer, chemical engineer, I dare even say aerospace engineer, and last but definitely not least, I said biochemistry, okay, and last but not least, astronomy. CU Boulder offers all of that I just aforementioned, and I know that because I've done my research, whereas CU Denver only offers half. If I said CU Denver previously, I meant to say CU Boulder, in case I had a Freudian slip. CU Boulder offers all those majors, whereas CU Denver only offers half of what I just mentioned. All the tools that I need to get out here and do the things that I need to do, as far as making sure that the systemic miseducation, the systemic clearly deliberate miseducation that I had to endure never happens ever again to any child out there who says, I want to do better, I want better grades, I want to strive for the highest, I want to bring my grades up, I want to make honor roll and principals list. I'm tired of sitting up here being stuck in a society where they're going out of their way to make me a dumbass nigga. Or better yet, how about we just call it what it is, just a nigga? Because niggas, niggas ain't supposed to be smart. It's just like one dude said in one of the Hidden Colors series, don't nobody like a smart Negro. Nobody likes a smart Negro. And I'm telling you, take it from me, they do like Pookies and Ray Rays. Whereas they can't stand motherfuckers like me. They can't stand motherfuckers like us. You get out there and call yourself competing with, they can't stand your ass. As long as you zip coning and buffooning, you alright. Until they have no use for you. So, y'all can sit up and the irony is that y'all be looking at me like I'm the sellout. Y'all look at the so-called educated lames like we're the sellouts. And I'm like, there may be a few coons here and there who probably found some sort of solace in this society, who go out of their way to throw their fellow black men under the bus. Or their brothers and sisters under the bus. Yeah, that's a coon ass nigga if I've ever heard of one. But I'm telling you, the vast majority of us who give a damn, we are on the front lines, bro. We are on the front lines. And I was just thinking, I think I made one of the talking points that I made in one of my videos that never made it to the tube. So let me say it here, because this one will make it to the tube. I noticed when I graduated with my degree in these worthless degrees that I currently have, these lib arts degrees. Mind you, these are lib arts degrees. Spanish, German, Japanese. Two of my teachers, not my professors, because there was always this, we would always have this Christmas party at my professor's husband's house, whose daughter, mind you, was on her way to med school, spoke fluent German. Because my professor's husband is actually one of the deans at the University of Memphis, ironically enough. He's a dean there, and he either is or was a mathematics professor. And for years, this man would let me in, amongst other German students, and sometimes even in the summer, where we would be in his backyard, eating his food, drinking his beer. And I remember this wasn't the last time I had gone to the Christmas party, but this was the year before that. Yeah. Was it the year before that? Yeah, it was the year before that. The last time I saw, so this was 2014. And I remember one of my professor's lackeys, who were, professors under her, mentioning something about the fact that, I was being awarded my degree in German, as well as Spanish and Japanese. And they basically gave me two of those professors, one of which was from Germany, the other was from NYC, both of them basically gave me the look. And I'm not even going to waste my time going into detail of what that look is, or what I mean when I say the look. But they gave me the look. Like, the look of almost like, deep beneath all this, in the midst of all this celebration and partying and hooray, congratulations, yeah. You're about to be awarded with your degree in German after all these years. They gave me the look of how dare you even attempt, even though you ain't gonna go nowhere with no degree in German, as fate and life have shown me. So I guess I won't be shooting for my master's degree in German. Hell no. No. Much less any of the other languages. But they gave me the look. And that wasn't my first time that I got the look. The first time that I got the look was shortly, about 4 months prior, when I was working as a temp at McKesson, and I had nothing more than a high school chemistry book, basically drilling through, the basic essentials of chemistry. And one of the supervisors there gave me the look. This look of, nigga, how dare you defy the stereotypes that are set out for you as basically being a dumbass nigga who can't compete with white folks, who's too lazy to compete with white folks. Because, I don't look at white people as my ultimate competition. No, to me, that's the Indians and the Chinese. It's Asians. To me, the ultimate competitions is Asians. You could almost say I'm bullshitting just due to the fact that I'm trying to, get all these degrees from American and European universities. But like I said, Asia, going out to Asia and trying to study out there and, competing on their level, that's a bridge too far anyway. And, you're going to face, it's a thankless task, it's a bridge too far, and you're going to run into all kinds of anti-black racism and vitriol. So why bother? I'd rather just get what I can here, move to Germany, and get what I can there. Because I don't know if I told y'all this, but that's the plan. After doing my time in Boulder, I'm moving to Germany. And like I said, I owe to the universe, I owe to the creator of the universe, the creator of me, who probably allowed all these situations to come in my life so that I could recognize where I was practically forced to recognize my value, recognize, my genius, if you will. I don't like saying that word genius. Let's just say my seemingly high IQ, for lack of better words. And I owe it to my enemies. I owe them that. So that they know, and all who dares lift a finger at people like me know that this is what you get. This is what happens when you go out of your way to put someone such as myself in the most disadvantageous of situations. And that individual recognizes that, and he does everything in his might and power to offset that. This is what happens. My life is what happens. And one of the reasons why I know that the universe is demanding that of me is just due to the exposure, the things that I was exposed to. The fact that I didn't grow up in a typical Negro household with a single parent, So I had that stability. I had the stability of a 2-parent household and a 2-story household, with people trying to get me on board with Spanish, trying to get me on board with certain maths like geometry. And like I said, I was getting my butt kicked so much in school, I almost felt defeated pretty much. And, I just didn't have the tenacity. But after I went through what I went through during that period when I was in those apartments, bro, that sparked something in me that it sparked a rage, and it had awakened a sleeping beast that I just had no idea was even in me. And even though my zodiac is the ox, I almost feel like I'm on some dragon type shit. And I don't think I should be saying that because, me and the dragon, oxen and dragon, are the least, platonically we can be cool, but romantically, no. So oxen and dragon don't really get along like that. But I'm just speaking from a metaphorical point of view that you've awakened a dragon. And I'm just like Daenerys Targaryen. I'm here to deliver fire and blood. fire and blood. And some of y'all are probably thinking, well, that's way too many majors, that's way too many minors. It's funny you say that because well, it's funny that you might be thinking that because those 3 majors that I had back at the University of Memphis, those were 3 in 1. So that was single-handedly 1 major. So I'm pretty sure if the University of Memphis has the flexibility of putting 3 majors into 1, 3 specialties, if you will, into 1 major, they can easily do that. So where I can have 3 majors in 1, so 3 specialties in 1. That'd be major 1, so that's 3 fields. Another 3 majors in major 2, so that's 6 fields, and then I fill in the blank with minors. Yeah, I plan to be a jack of all trades and a master of a few. Because it's really, in some, I mean, it serves, I mean, it's such a, it serves such a multi-dimensional purpose, which is so ironic, which is exactly why I want to do it, and I'm so adamant about it, is because not only does it bring glory, status, and honor, the things that I grew up learning about as I would study on the samurai, and how, you know, they were just these honor-bound warriors who were all about honor, so much so that they would commit suicide many of the times just off the strength of, you know, of them having dealt with some, you know, been dealt a disservice of dishonor. And to atone for that, they would commit harakiri. So I've been indoctrinated in that. And I've also been indoctrinated in the idea of this being a lifelong mission. This is something that, if it takes me 50 years to complete, that, as far as I'm concerned, that's 50 years of a life well spent. Because, again, that's what happens when you take a Memphis Negro like me, right? Just a typical goon, just another black man from Memphis, right? Just another number, just another statistic. Despite the fact that I survived the hells of Wooddale, despite the fact that I survived the hells of White Station, transferred to White Station, graduated from White Station with, you know, the cards that I had, with a 3.0 and a 20 on my ACT, nothing to brag about. Got matriculated into the University of Memphis, went through all the bullshit that I had to go through during that time, you know, not so much from the campus, but the city of Memphis, and found a way to make it out here to Denver, Colorado. And then after that, found a way to make it to Boulder, Colorado. And graduated with an array of degrees from the University of Boulder, or the University of Colorado at Boulder. That sounds like a success story to me. Despite the fact that, you know, I'm going to be well in my 40s and 50s, probably. Well, hopefully I'll make it out by the time, before I turn 50. And another reason is that, you know, I'm trying to prove that it's not even about the money as much as it is the knowledge, and the hope of sharing that knowledge so that there's something out there in society that, like I said, so that they never have to go through what I had to go through. Being systemically placed in a position of inferiority, where you're not inferior by your genetics, but you're just inferior because, you know, society set it up that way. And we're going off of past so-called pseudoscience of genetics, stating, well, you do belong to the Negro, so you're clearly not as, you know, on the same intellectual playing field as your white and Asian counterparts. Now, the best thing that you have for superiority is your physicality, the fact that you got a big old schlong and you can play basketball real good. And these people swear that, you know, just because we're bookworms, that we're not privy to the the stereotypes of this society, despite the fact that I've endured the stereotypes of this society and go through them to this day. Can somebody make that make sense to me? No, because it don't make sense, because it's stupid as all hell. Yeah. So, yeah, man, that's the plan. My plan, I was gonna hack it out here in Denver. I was gonna do it in Denver, but I'm like, nah, the universe clearly has shown the way, and I'm like, lead the way. Lead the way. Not to mention, positioning myself to move to Boulder, I'll be in a much better spot because, like I said, it costs money to live in Boulder. It costs money. Hell, it costs money to live in Denver, but I said Denver's I would tell, to answer my question, I would say, if you must move to Denver, go ahead. But if you can move to Boulder, by all means move to Boulder. Spare yourself the bullshit of Denver. Because you ain't going to get laid. You'll get paid, but you ain't going to get laid. And you might, as much as I hate to say it, you might get attacked. You might be attacked. Because it happened to me. Because you got all kinds of dregs. You got all kinds of mentally ill people who are just out of their ever-loving minds. And people who obviously don't know the consequences of holding somebody at gunpoint or holding somebody at knife point. Especially if that person has previously been held at gunpoint. Working around a bunch of savages at AutoZone. Now I'm going back to Memphis. Do yourselves a favor and look up the court case of the U.S. versus Anthony Scott of Memphis, Tennessee. See if I'm making this stuff up. See if I'm just, doing some, because the way I see it, I'm like, bro, Hollywood screenwriters couldn't make up the kind of life and, the movie of my life. Hollywood screenwriters can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. This is real. This is real life, bro. And since this is the movie of my life, I might as well finish it to the best of my ability. I might as well. Because, again, I'm not beholden to no wife. I'm not beholden to no kids. I wanted that. I wanted to be a family man. I wanted to be a husband. I wanted to be a daddy. Calling myself trying to be quote-unquote normal. And fate just didn't see it that way. So I've come, after all this time, I've come to realize that that's clearly something that the universe is demanding of me, despite belonging to a race of people who are typically stereotyped, and sometimes I dare even say confirmed to having a very low IQ. The universe didn't care. No one in my family has the genes, from what I can tell, my immediate family has the genes of a polyglot, yet I'm a polyglot. Now, I got engineers in my family, sure. I got some pretty smart motherfuckers in my family. I dare say on both sides. Because my dad's side. I don't want to throw his family under, because got there's people in his family who are in the Air Force. There was one dude, I always think back when I was like 14, there was this dude, I guess he was one of my uncles. He swore that he, was a mechanic, but he had gone to school for all these different, for some degree in engineering. Now, knowing Negroes, I know that usually they be talking out the side of their teeth. He could have been lying his ass off for all I know, but if there was any validity in what he said and what he did, then, that might just explain the fact that even though I gotta work my ass off for the the foreign languages too. But the thing is, I'm capable of it, and I'm capable of STEM. And the way I see it, I'm like, I might as well just go for the gold and go all the way. Go for broke. Go all the way. And like I said, I owe that. I owe that to the universe. I owe that to the creator of the universe. I owe it to myself, and I owe it to my enemies. I dare say I especially owe it to my enemies. And to myself too. I mean, I don't want to just prioritize my enemies because it's not to their benefit. It's really just to give them the bird, to flip them the bird. All these people who wanted to see me fail and just fucked up in life, fucked up in the game. That's just to flip them the bird. It's really for me. It's for my benefit. And hopefully, just to show a spirit of unselfishness, it's for the benefit of people who aren't even on this planet yet. So that they have access to something that, instead of relying on Amazon, if Amazon's even around, to learn in just a collage of natural sciences and engineering sciences, and as well as foreign languages. And for me, it'll be a life well spent, rather than settling for mediocrity like I erroneously once did, or just bowing to the wishes of these evil people who, don't mean my black ass no good anyway. So the way I see it, I might as well piss them off. I might as well go for the gold. Consequences be damned. Because, in the world of damned if you do and damned if you don't, you make people who have your ass in a situation where you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, they really make your choices that much easier, because you don't have to walk on eggshells. I'm like, anything you do, anything you don't do, you're not going to be in good standing with these people. So you might as well do what's best to your benefit anyway, don't you think? You might as well. And people who got you in that catch-22 like that, they really do. I mean, it really forces you to look at the nature of your enemies when you just looking at these motherfuckers, and you can tell that they just hating on your ass for whatever reason. They really do make your life that much easier, and and you know what? They give you enough negative reinforcement and enough inspiration to get out there and do what you got to do, just to piss them off that much even more. So as one of my former employers, half of that emblem, I just say, just do it. Just do it. Might as well. And damned if you do and damned if you don't. Batshit Crash Bandicoot crazy world, like buttfuck world that we live in. Just do it. Just do it. I'll catch y'all in the next video. I'm out.